Welcome to lesson 13. In this lesson, we're going to discuss how you handle large areas that need to be cut, and yet you have to use a V-bit to get some detail as well. Combining those two is sometimes difficult, but Easel makes it a little easier. And let me show you how Easel does it. First, we're going to create a rectangle. And we're just going to make a 2x4. And let's put it in the center. Oh, wrong way, I want it the other way. 4 inches wide and 2 inches high. Okay, we're going to center that. All right, now I'm going to put some text in there. I'm not going to use one that we've used before, this one. Should we? Well, that's a pro one. Let's use something. This one's okay. All right, and we'll move that in there. There we go. Let's see how this works. We'll slide that in there. Notice we put it in, it kind of disappears. And that's because its cut depth is the same as the cut depth for our background. But if we move this up to 0, look what we get. We get raised text here. Now, as you can see, we're missing a lot of detail in here. And that's fairly typical when you do this kind of operation. So what we have is we have a fairly large area to clear out. That's this area around the text. And if we were to choose a V-bit to do it all, it would, one, take forever, and it would be a very rough finish on there as you try to clear it out with a V-bit. So we're going to stick with the 1/8 inch bit to clear that area. However, I would like to use some detail bits too. So we go over this plus sign here where it says use additional bit. And we're going to add a 30-degree V-bit right here. Click out. Notice we have 2 bits mentioned up here. And notice now our text looks pretty good, doesn't it? And that's because we're planning on using 2 bits to complete this project. Let's run simulate. And when we run simulate, you'll notice there is no uncut area because we're using that V-bit. If I get rid of this V-bit and run simulate, notice there are uncut areas. Simulate again. Look at the uncut areas. You can see those areas that didn't get cut out before, right? So let's go back and put our bit back in. That's our 30-degree bit. And now we have a nice clean setup, and we run a simulation. We have something nice and clean. There are no uncut areas, and we have a pretty nice job of embossing this. All right, so it's pretty nice. So how does this work, though? Well, if you go back here and take this to the end, and we start running it, let's watch what happens. Notice as it starts moving and cutting with our 1/8 inch bit now, it's cutting a large area, and we're using a blue background to indicate where the 1/8 inch bit is cutting. As it moves along, I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. As it moves around there, and you can see it's going to try and catch all that stuff around the text there, and it's going to get all that out of there. There we go. Now it's going to do it again because it's trying to cut more than one pass. So let's take multiple passes to do this. Let's speed it up a little more so we can get through that part of it. There we go. Once we get to the end, you're going to see the, and I'll try and catch it if I can. There we are. If you notice, the router bit retraced itself back to the corner point here. Let me bring this up a little bit. Back to our starting point. When you are operating, this is where the machine will stop with X and Y at X and Y 0 point to the bottom left corner of our board here. And the machine will stop. You simply turn the router off, put a V-bit in at that point, reset your Z-axis, the height of your bit above the board, and continue. And when you continue, it works to get rid of all the detail around the machine. Let's look at the color of that. Now it's green. So you can see it's demonstrated by using different colors which bit is going to cut where. So let's look at it a little bigger. There's quite a bit going on in there. And you can't see all the paths that are being cut out, but you can see the green indicator. So we have red indicating the path of the bit when it's raised off the surface. We have the blue indicating the cut when we're using the 1/8 inch bit, and the green indicating the cut when we're using the 30-degree detail bit. So let's speed it up a little bit and finish it up. All right, there we go. Now the whole thing looks like it's going to take around 15 minutes, as you can see down here. And it's pretty interesting. I'm going to move it a little bit so I get my, hang on, do Control Z to put it back where it was. All right, just to remove my simulate there. Anyway, so you can see that it's pretty attractive looking embossed setup. So it's just something you can do to smooth out the background and yet still get some detail. It does involve changing a bit, but Easel kind of makes it easy to do that. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and we'll talk about other topics in future lessons. Have a good day.